When Knox White was told that he was going to maybe get an award from this prestigious group, he wasn't sure about what type of award it was and how he could possibly deserve it, because he said most awards are given to legislators, not mayors. But he wanted to know more about the group, and so I was able to talk with him and discuss with him and tell him that we were not a Minuteman organization in South Carolina. We aren't armed and dangerous. And all the good work that we're doing in this state, quite frankly, reflects on a lot of the goals and aspirations that Carroll Campbell had when he was governor. And Ellen just mentioned that she read his inaugural speech on his second term, and it very, very much captured a lot of the focus of what Palmetto Policy Forum is all about. So if any organization today is linked into the goals of Carroll Campbell, it's this organization. So I'd like to introduce now the film, if someone can go ahead and plug it. And please excuse some of the video. This was done in the 70s, some of it, so we don't have a lot of high definition work.
Preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I therefore declare you officially installed as the governor of South Carolina, a great governor of a great state, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Today we begin to enter a new era, one which should be marked by new efficiency in government and a striking new responsiveness to your will.
He said the governor of South Carolina is accountable to all the people, and the governor has to have a say in what goes on in the state.
It's good, sound business. Education? Yeah. Education, I mean, you catch that kid and get a foundation in them in the 4th grade and keep them in, they learn how to earn a living, you don't take care of them the rest of their life. That's good business. The government doesn't owe anybody a living. People have that responsibility. Government, though, comes into that to the extent that we should work to provide people the opportunity to have access to education and job opportunity.
Throughout my 2 terms as vice president, Carroll was someone the Reagan administration really counted on for support, for advice, and sometimes for a firm but polite disagreement. When Carroll signed up early as a supporter of my campaign and a leader in my campaign, I knew we were getting a strong beachhead in the South.
No party has a monopoly on brains or goodness, and what you need is the competitive factor. And once you reach parity with it, you've created the competitive factor in this state, and as a result, ideas will control. Philosophy will control.
He said many times, every man and woman, boy and girl has a basic right to have access to equal opportunities on which they build their lives. Carroll fought the fight. He kept the faith by fighting for the principles he believed in, and he finished the race.
Legislators are always saying, well, you know, he's tough, or he's, you know, this, that, and the other. That's the job. You're the executive, and you have to make decisions, and you don't make them by, you know, running around and find out what everybody thinks.
Throughout the years, there's one thing that's apparent. Progress has been made and success achieved because people saw obstacles as opportunities and took advantage of those obstacles and turned them into opportunities. Those who sat by and sought guarantees never really contributed to the true success of our state or our nation. It is time to start building bridges that transcend political differences. It is time to start building bridges that transcend personal preferences. It is time for all of us to throw away political banners and unite under one banner that reads South Carolina, a state of opportunity. I am optimistic and confident that we can meet any challenge for one reason only, because of the people of South Carolina, for they are our greatest resource. With goodly heritage, it turns out to be neighbors who were willing to serve and share as their talents allow, citizens who fit the definition of hero. The challenge that we are facing, therefore, is to do good, to provide opportunities for all of our people. That's the challenge. Etched on the sword of state is the South Carolina state seal. as all of us in the legislature are familiar. The rest of you may not be, but look at it. Because it shows the Palmetto tree. The Palmetto tree symbolizes our strength in adversity. And it also contains the state's slogan, prepared in mind and resources. With God's help, we shall remain prepared, and we will create opportunity in this state. God bless you, and thank you.
Now it's a great honor to introduce to you your former congressman and former senator, and now heading up the Heritage Foundation, my good friend Jim DeMint.
Thanks everyone for being here. I know some of you have come in since after the morning session. We had a chance to look at what energy development could do for this state. And it's a good reminder as you look at Greenville of what some vision, some leadership can do to one town. And fortunately, other cities around the state have copied what's happened here in Greenville. The whole state is growing in a very positive direction. And this is a great honor for me to honor Knox White in the name of Carroll Campbell, two of my heroes, really. Knox and I worked together on his first campaign, and he has certainly proved that vision is something that can make a real difference. And for me, having worked at the federal level, I call Knox the poster boy for local control. Boy, if you want to see things work, you just take them out of Washington, bring them home, get business people, volunteers, local leaders, and you can change a city, and as Carroll Campbell showed, a state. That's what we're all about at Palmetto Policy Forum. So I'm excited about, I'm introducing a video, right, Ellen? So we've got one more video for you, so just hold your seats for just a second.
See
On behalf of Barry Wynn, myself, the board of Palmetto Policy Forum, I know the city of Greenville, and I'm sure all the people of South Carolina, we would like to present the first Carroll Campbell Vision and Leadership Award to Knox White. Knox, will you and Marcia come up, please?
You all may be seated. But thank you, Jim, and on behalf of the Policy Board, thank you very much for this very unexpected honor, and thank you for what you're doing in that Policy Board. I did check out the website, Barry, and it looked safe enough, so with you on there, I'm sure you'll hold the fort down. But thank you very much. I thank the folks from the city that are here. I know former council member Deb Sofield's here, and Councilman David Sudduth is here. I appreciate that very much. And of course, the Campbell family, Iris and Tumpy, braved the torrents of rain, I understand, to come up here, so no small deal for that. Iris, thank you very much. Love you very much. To be a part of Carroll Campbell's team over many years, and so many people in this room, as I look around, played a role in that. You kind of know what I mean. It's kind of like being part of a family with people who are involved in the congressional campaigns, the gubernatorial campaigns, and maybe more than we'd like to admit, Iris, a couple losing campaigns, but they were fun too. But it's all part of a family. It means so much, and part of that relationship for me was very special because I met Marcia that way. She was working for the enemy on Capitol Hill at the time, but we met nonetheless, and that's important. I first met Carroll Campbell, and I'm not going to give this is just some brief remarks, but I first met Carroll Campbell and worked in his first campaign when he was 29 years old, out campaigning with him, and you knew he had the magic even then. His campaign style was amazing. Iris, do you remember that he used to particularly love to go to women's hair places, salons? You know why he did? He told me one time he figured out it was like 8 women totally trapped under these devices. They couldn't move, and he would hand them his brochure, and he thought that was the coolest thing because they couldn't go anywhere. They had to read about it. But even then, he had that magic to him, and you have to kind of go back to his place in time. At that time, the Republican Party was a minority, and Carroll Campbell saw himself, really throughout this whole career, as a reformer, as an agent of change. That's how he perceived himself, and it goes back to those early days. And that was always his underlying theme, how he was going to be the agent of change wherever he might be. He never gave up on his energy level, but there was an episode when I worked for him in Washington that always stuck in my mind because it told me something else about what motivates him and how he wants to operate. And that's one very late congressional night. It was like 7 o'clock. And you may not know this, but he finished his BA degree by going to American University. And after a long day on the Hill, committee hearings, meeting with constituents, running all those distances back and forth, he had to go to American University, and he wanted me to go with him a little bit on this trip, and got in the elevator, and he did something I'd never seen him do. The elevator door closed, 7 o'clock at night, and he just fell against the wall, and he said, "I am so tired." Now, mind you, his hair still looked great, but I always remember that image, and he said, I've been in Congress now for 4 years. I wonder sometimes, am I really accomplishing anything? Is anyone even going to remember what I did? Because I wouldn't, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this kind of thing unless you want to be consequential. And I remember that word he used, consequential. He wanted to do big things. Well, the door opened up and he went on to American University. I thought about that episode the other day, last week. We had the grand opening, the groundbreaking, or what is the 6th of 6 buildings in the first phase of Clemson ICAR, International Center for Automotive Research. And I was sitting out there just last week, all the speeches were being given, and I looked around and I thought about that. Of course, ICAR, the basis of ICAR, it all revolves around the Carroll Campbell Graduate School of Automotive Engineering. Some 200 students, PhD program. And of course, just down the road is BMW, which is something like $6 billion investment now in South Carolina. Some 8,000 employees. And of course, we know that's not just the BMW employees. You can multiply that by 2, and that's the number of suppliers and the whole network. And And how amazing it is, if you were writing a history of this region, you wouldn't believe this, at about the time that the textile industry was folding up so quickly, unfortunately, at about that same time in our history, that Carroll Campbell came along and brought a new industry to South Carolina, into the upstate, in the automotive industry. He was always focused on diversity of the economy, always about the economy, but to do it at that moment in time was a lifesaver for this community. And boy, was it consequential. I've always felt that here in the city of Greenville, we ride on his wings, that it's this underlying economy, the great diversity of economy, the amazing people that have now been attracted to this upstate of South Carolina because of what we have here. It's all of that that's made possible what we've done for the last several years in the city of Greenville, the kind of things you saw in the video, to reclaim the Reedy River and establish Falls Park, to bring a baseball stadium downtown, really to create this entire amazing walkable urban environment that we have here that just doesn't exist in many places in this country. But behind it all is this strong economy, and behind it all is this very extraordinary magnet for people and talent. So that gets back to what he said in the elevator. Carroll Campbell was not about doing small things. He was about doing big things. And that's a great message for anyone in public life, anybody who's a public servant. I think he would enjoy this organization because he loved new ideas, creative ideas, innovative ideas. Remember automobile insurance reform? Like, where'd that come from? He just sensed it was out there. No one else saw it. No pollster saw it. He just saw it. He was always there for ideas. So I think he would tell us that this state more than ever needs fresh thinking, innovation, new ideas. And above all, this state should never be afraid to be bold. Thank you very much.